This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. Arrivals from India to Sri Lanka prohibited. 25 COVID deaths have been reported yesterday. The debate on the Port City Bill will be held on the 18th of this month. Army commander says the Army has contributed their utmost support to maintain the COVID treatment centres. In news from overseas, Indian government says double mutant may be linked to the surge in cases. The chairman of the Civil Aviation Authority says Sri Lanka has halted all arrivals from India with immediate effect. The decision has been taken on the directives of the Ministry of Health. The Health Ministry also stated that stern health guidelines will be implemented for passengers entering the country from foreign countries. At present, the number of COVID-infected cases has risen to 117,325. The highest daily death toll of 25 COVID deaths were reported yesterday. Therefore, the overall COVID deaths has been increased to 720. The epidemiology unit says that 100,075 have been recovered. The Department of Communications of the Parliament said the Supreme Court's determination with regard to the Colombo Port City Economic Commission Bill will be presented to the House on the 18th of this month. Speaker Mahindayapa Abewardena has received the Supreme Court's determination on the Colombo Port City Economic Commission Bill last evening. He said the final decision relevant to this matter will be taken up at the next party leaders' meeting. The Railway Department says that some problems have been created in the daily maintenance activities in railway lines due to some employees of the Railway Maintenance Unit being infected with the coronavirus. However, measures have been taken to operate trains continuously. Chairman of the Railway Station Masters Union, Sumedha Somaratna, says at present, Ratmalana Railway Workshop has been closed down. Meanwhile, State Minister Dilu Maunagama says that several employees of the Transport Board have been infected with the virus. Commander of the Army, General Shavendra Silva, says that isolation orders have been imposed to 2 more areas in the Kothmale police area in the Nuwara district with effect from this morning. Accordingly, the National Operations Centre of Prevention of COVID-19 says at present more than 100 Grama Niladhari divisions in 14 districts have been isolated. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Receive early cash advances and an unmatchable bonus at maturity from Sri Lanka Insurance Early Cash.
The Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation will broadcast a chanting of the Ratana Sutra aimed at listeners in India with the aim of invoking blessings on the leaders and people of India who have been affected greatly by the COVID-19 pandemic. This broadcast, which begins today at the Botry of the SLBC, will be aired for 7 days. The Ratana Sutra will be chanted by leading bhikkhus in Sri Lanka. The program is being coordinated by the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs. The Pinkama has been planned with the mediation of the Director General of the Corporation, Mr. Chandrapala Liyanage, and the staff of the Corporation. The aim of this program is to invoke blessings of the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, and the Media Minister Kehiliya Rabukwala, the Chairman and the Director General of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, to the people of India. This Ratana Sutra chanting will be broadcast over entire India on shortwaves 873 kHz from SLBC's Putlam transmission station and over the Sinhala, Tamil, English and the regional services. It will be broadcast from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Sri Lanka time from today over all local and foreign channels. From tomorrow to the 13th of May, it will be broadcast live. There will be a repeat broadcast of the same from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's local news.
Finished? You have 1 more hour to write the exam.
Yes, sir. Always early.
Receive early cash advances and an unmatchable bonus at maturity from Sri Lanka Insurance Early Cash.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Army Commander General Shavendra Silva says that the Sri Lankan Army has contributed their utmost support to maintain the COVID treatment centres. He said the construction of treatment centres is to be carried out soon. That was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Watchlight this afternoon, President of the College of Medical Laboratory Ravi Kumudesh says that the government or any other institution will not intervene in the PCR tests conducted in government hospitals. He made this remark at a media briefing held today. That was Watchlight, and on to world news. The headlines: Indian government says double mutant may be linked to the surge in cases. G7 calls for China's role in rules-based system. Saudi Arabia assures Pakistan of support in peace efforts. India has said a double mutant variant of the coronavirus first discovered there in March may be linked to a deadly second wave. Samples containing the mutant or B1617 variant have been found in several states with high case numbers. An official with the National Center for Disease Control said, however, that they had still been unable to fully establish a correlation. A double mutant is when two mutations come together in the same virus. Meanwhile, India reported a record 412,000 cases in the space of 24 hours yesterday and 3,980 deaths. Foreign ministers from the group of 7 countries wrapped up 3 days of talks in London yesterday with a joint communique that takes a strong line on China. The ministers expressed concern about the situation in and around the East and South China Seas, where Beijing is increasing its presence. The ministers reiterated their strong opposition to any unilateral actions that could undermine the international rule-based order. They say they continue to be deeply concerned about the human rights violations. Saudi Arabia yesterday assured Pakistan of its support in the initiatives for regional peace and stability. The assurance was extended by Chief of General Staff Saudi Armed Forces, General Fayez bin Hamad Al Rawali, during a meeting with Chief of the Army Staff, General Qamar Bajwa. General Bajwa is currently on a 4-day visit to the United Kingdom. His trip is taking place ahead of Prime Minister Imran Khan's visit, scheduled to start from tomorrow. Back to the headlines of the world news. Indian government says double mutant may be linked to the surge in cases. G7 calls for China's role in rules-based system. Saudi Arabia assures Pakistan of support in peace efforts. That was world news, and on to development news. More than 400 tourists have arrived in the island during the month of April. Tourism activities will be conducted according to the biobubble concept. Arrival of tourists have to be limited with the new spread of COVID-19. The government's objective is to carry out the tourism industry continuously. That was development news.
Sports news is brought to you by...
When Aya bought a motorbike, he bought 2 helmets. So sweet of him. I'm sure the other one is for me.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Several Sri Lankan players are leading at the Test Cricket Grading Index. The reason for this has led to the victory of Bangladesh tournament. The new cricketer Praveen Jayawardene is among the best world 50 bowlers. He is in the 48th place of Test bowlers grading. In his maiden Test cricket tournament, he took 11 wickets against Bangladesh. Dimuth Karunaratne is the 11th place of the Test cricket batting at the grading list. That was Sports News.
My wife always sets a full lunch table even if it's just the two of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan නෙවෙයි.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited, or CPSTL, posted a record 2.1 billion rupees profit despite 19% dip in sales volume due to COVID-19 pandemic. CPSTL also paid 205 million rupees as taxes. The turnover for 2019 was 15.3 billion rupees. That was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
In economic news, Sri Lanka Embassy in Nepal partnered with the Export Development Board of Sri Lanka, or EDB, is to connect with the construction industry stakeholders of the two countries in a webinar titled Collaboration in the Construction Industry between Sri Lanka and Nepal on Tuesday. In his opening remarks, EDB Chairman Suresh Dimel described Nepal as an important market for joint ventures in the construction industry and elaborated the Sri Lankan industry's strength and capabilities to cater to the international market. That was economic news.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
On to the weather report. The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur over most parts of the island during the evening or night. Showers can occur over the eastern province and in the Mullaitivu and Hambantota districts during the morning. Heavy rainfalls above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabragamo, central, western, Uva, northwestern and in the southern provinces. That was the weather report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Back to the headlines of this news broadcast. Arrivals from India to Sri Lanka prohibited. 25 COVID deaths were reported yesterday. The debate on the Port City Bill will be held on the 18th of this month. Army Commander says the Army has contributed their utmost support to maintain the COVID treatment centres. In news from overseas, Indian government says double mutant may be linked to the surge in cases.